As popular and strong as the Tau Empire is as a faction in the 40K universe, it's hard to justify a scenario where the greater good becomes the major power in the entire galaxy. In order for the Tau Empire to prevail over its enemies, it would have to topple the monolithic Imperium of Man, fend off the encroaching Tyranid swarm, exterminate the Orc nuisance, deal with the rising Necrons, exorcise the demonic threats of the Immaterium, and finally put down the dying Eldar race. Not something a faction as young and inexperienced as the Tau can achieve, and yet it's not impossible. In this video, I will be going over my theory as to how the Tau Empire could improve to become the dominant power of the entire galaxy. And with that, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and for the entire month of December, I will be celebrating Taucember by focusing on the lore of the Tau Empire. So if you guys have any suggestions or questions about the blue-faced fish people of 40K, please comment down in the comment section below. And if you like this new faction-focused approach on our lore videos, please stomp your hooves on the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps me know what type of videos to focus on, and it will tell YouTube that you want to see more 40K lore videos. But with all that said, let's get into 40 facts and lore on how the Tau can conquer the galaxy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the Tau Empire as a major power in the 40K universe is pretty weak. The Imperium almost single-handedly wiped them out during the Damocles Gulf Crusade. They don't have the numbers to fight prolonged wars of attrition against swarm armies like the Tyranids or the Orcs. They haven't mastered faster-than-light travel, so factions like the Necrons and the Eldar would just run circles around them, and they basically are fighting blind against the reality-bending powers of chaos, because they lack the basic knowledge of what demons are. But even with all of these disadvantages, the Tau Empire has the potential to overcome all of these threats, kind of. In my previous theory videos, I always tell you guys that I want to do my best to stay within the boundaries of what is plausible given the current lore in 40K. And when it comes to the Tau Empire controlling the galaxy, it's difficult because I don't want to make things up in order to fit my vision as to how they can become a better faction. Examples I've seen in other fan theories is that the Tau discover a way to biologically control the Orcs and then use them as a warrior race, or finding a psychically powerful auxiliary force that gives them access to warp travel. These are all awesome theories, but they have a lot of gaps that break the lore. So before I go into my theory, I want to be clear to all the fans rooting for the greater good that my intent is to improve the Tau's martial potential given what already exists in the lore. So let's begin by laying out my theoretical scenario that would place the Tau Empire in the best possible position to conquer the galaxy, and it starts with the Necrons. Now, I don't believe that the Fire Caste and all of its supporting bodies could defeat a crown world, basically one of the capital tomb worlds of a dynasty, especially if it's a fully awakened crown world. The sheer power and size of the Necron armies that are charged to guard these galactic hubs would be too much for the forces of the Tau. But during their spheres of expansion, it is very plausible for the Tau Empire to come across and colonize a fringe world or even a dormant core world that either through force of arms or sheer luck has been subdued and its activation protocols shut down or delayed. Let's keep in mind that a good chunk of tomb worlds succumb to the decay caused by some malfunction during their long sleep, so these broken, minor tomb worlds could give the Tau Empire the opportunity to deconstruct and adopt the very powerful technologies used by the Necrons. And I know what you're thinking. It's easy to say that the Tau Empire could simply adopt this highly advanced Necron technology, but do they have the resources to do so? And the answer is surprisingly yes. Unlike the xenophobic Imperium of Man that despises technology that humanity didn't create, the Tau Empire would gladly adopt new forms of technology as long as it serves the greater good. And they aren't like the Eldar whose arrogance and fear of xenotechnology pushes them away. The Tau go out of their way to figure out how alien technology can be used to innovate and improve their current state. To further this progressive agenda, the Empire relies on the Earth Caste to appropriate new technology into the Empire. And when I say the Earth Caste, I truly mean the entire Earth Caste, not just one sub-world or a sector, because unlike the Imperium that hoards their knowledge even amongst the different Forge worlds, the Tau Caste understands that it is through cooperation that galaxy-changing innovation is achieved, which is why the resources of the entire race would be used to crack the code of the Necron technology. And when we analyze whether or not the Tau Empire could functionally utilize this alien tech, the answer again is yes. Unlike the Eldar Wraithbone that require highly psychic beings to mold and operate, or Orc tech that relies on the strange green skin luck wog energy, or even the Imperium self-imposed limitations that deny the use of AI and require all tech to be somewhat organic, the Necron technology is all grounded in the real world. It might seem as if though the Necrons are using warp powers or some form of sorcery to bend the laws of physics, but the reality is that everything from space travel to gauze weaponry comes from applied science. And a surprisingly huge advantage the Tau have when it comes to adopting Necron technology, specifically their weapons, is their attention to the safety of their soldiers. Tau plasma weaponry is actually dangerous for the user, but the Earth caste has taken the time to design a contained system that protects the Fire Warrior. So when we look at the much more dangerous radioactive weaponry of the Necrons that has the potential to kill the user, which is why only Space Marines utilize Necron weapons in the Imperium, the Tau Empire is willing to solve the problem in order to improve the deadliness of their entire fire caste. The answer to this challenge is the use of the already ubiquitous mech suits of the Tau. These combat exoskeletons are already carrying ion cannons and fusion eradicators. What's to stop them from using gauze weaponry, death rays, particle weapons, and even harnessing the powers of a Catan shard? The degree of how deadly the Firecast would become with these weapons is tremendous. Imagine battlesuits similar in size to the Taunar Supremacy suit, but with the power of a Tesseract Vault. The pilots of these suits would channel the energies of the transcendent Catans to wield the powers of literal gods. Smaller suits similar in size to the XV-25 stealth suits would wield particle shredders or heavy gauze cannons and can use the dimensional destabilization matrix of a canoptic wraith to phase through space-time. Once given access to the armories of the Necrons, the upgrades to the soldiers of the Firecast would be a definite game changer. And we haven't even gotten to the Tau's major breakthrough of achieving faster than light travel. Given the opportunity to crack the code of the Necrons, inertialess drive systems would allow the colonization fleets of the Tau to accelerate beyond the speed of light, making their expansion through our galaxy even more dangerous. Now, I don't think that the Tau Empire would attempt to jump to every segmentum in the galaxy with this newfound power. Instead, the calculating ethereals would use this technology to solidify their territories and form stronger bonds between each sept world. Unlike the other major factions, specifically the Imperium, that struggles to maintain a steady stream of reinforcements to the front lines, the Tau Empire is way more interconnected. They don't have the dog-eat-dog mentality or the bureaucratic dysfunction of the Adeptus Administratum that creates terrible supply chain errors. The Tau caste system makes the entire empire a well-oiled machine that would become stronger and faster than ever before. Imagine this: if an Orc Wog enters the Empire's boundaries, the responding military force wouldn't come from one sept world like it is right now, but the entire sphere's patrolling fleet. If an important planet is under siege and their people need resources, the Tau Empire can allocate the appropriate reinforcements thanks to the impeccable inventory of the water and the earth caste. If they're a major power that can defend themselves now, once they attain faster than light travel, they will become unbreakable. The other incredibly powerful piece of Necron technology that the Tau Empire would use to not only conquer real space, but also finally become a threat to the forces of chaos, is Blackstone. This is the same material that made up the Cadian pylons and what is currently being used in the Pariah Nexus by the Necrons. It's an ancient substance used during the War in Heaven that has similar effects to the Pariah gene. The Necrons use it as a defense against the Immaterium, capable of closing off or dampening the effects of the warp, but it can also redirect the etheric powers. The Imperium is already trying to decipher its use, but if the Tau Empire could harness this power and create weapons and war gear with this nullifying substance, they could become a major threat to all psychically sensitive creatures in the galaxy, so everybody. Now let's talk about the major improvement Tau drones would receive once integrated with Necron technology. They already assist the Tau in almost every aspect of warfare, from targeting systems to medical support, but with the Necron's command protocols, it would greatly improve the drone's ability to synchronize with each other, similar to canoptic scarabs. And it would solidify the Tau's control over their artificial intelligences, because let's face it, everyone has been waiting for the drones to turn on the Tau, just like the Men of Iron turned on humanity. But if the command protocols have been able to hold together the Necron legions, they can do that for the Tau drones. Once the Necron's technology is disseminated throughout the entire Tau Empire, the galaxy would be facing a well-armed, highly coordinated, and conquest-driven faction, a Tau Empire capable of becoming the major power in the entire galaxy. And that's my theory as to how the Tau Empire could improve in order to become the conquerors of the entire galaxy, basically dethroning the Imperium of Man, who is really the only major faction that cares about territory and wants to hold on to that territory. The Necrons are similar, but the Necrons are still kind of awakening. But what was interesting when I was writing this script is the initial idea was to create a script similar to the one with the Orcs and the Necrons, where I went through each individual faction and say, like, how could the Orcs defeat the Necrons? How could the Orcs defeat the Tyranids? And so on and so forth. But with the Tau Empire, what I quickly realized is that by doing that, I had to bend the lore in order for the Tau Empire to come out on top. So finally, I was just like, well, the most plausible outcome for the Tau Empire to even like have a chance to conquer the galaxy is if they somehow got a hold of Necron technology. I don't think an alliance would work, so that was completely out the window. But adopting Necron technology into their own tech just seemed like the most lore plausible thing. But if you are a Tau player and you have different theories as to how your faction can come out on top, please let me know in the comments section below. I'm going to be down there for the first 2 days that this video is up, answering talking to you guys in the comments. So whatever comment, I'm just going to respond to you guys. So I would love to hear your theories. For the entire month of December, I want to cover the Tau. However, I've noticed that throughout the many years of doing this, theory videos always usually tend to focus on either chaos or the Tau Empire. So I already have a lot of videos. So what I'm going to be doing is posting on our story on YouTube all of the old videos and then, you know, posting them as new, because I have like a theory as to like, could the Tau create space marines? Could the Tau adopt Guevesas? Are the Tau better than the Imperium? Like a bunch of like theory videos that I'm going to be posting throughout the month. But if you guys have more content that you guys want to see, or very specific content or questions that you guys want answered about the Tau Empire, please let me know what it is in the comments section below. I need your help. And also, if you guys got inspired by this video and want to do a Necron Tau kit bash or some type of like fusion between like the two, I would love to see it. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or here on YouTube, because I've never seen a conversion of Tau and Necrons. I wonder what that warband would look like. But yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos, these faction-focused videos. This is a whole new month, so Tau is the main focus. And if you did, hit the like button, tell your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate all of you guys watching this long, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This is Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.